Hey guys, how's it going? I'm Sydney from PhoneDoc.com. So as most of you guys know by now, or have noticed by now, Aaron and I are going to be doing 30-day phone switch challenges. So we're both going to switch to a new phone, whether it's a different operating system or just a new form factor. We're going to switch for 30 days, keep you guys updated along the way, tell you guys how our experience is going, and then at the end of the 30 days, we'll give you our overall impressions of the phone or the operating system, whichever it is. You guys got to pick the phone that Aaron is going to switch to, and he picked the Galaxy Note, so you guys can, keep updated on his experience. I got to pick which phone I switched to because, I don't take orders from anybody. Actually, Aaron just let me pick because, he's awesome like that. So I picked the BlackBerry Torch 9810, and the reason why I picked this phone is because BlackBerry is, I don't have a lot of personal experience with it in terms of using it as my personal phone. Obviously, I have experience with it because of my job, but I've never used a BlackBerry for an extended period of time as my personal phone. I've used Android, I've used Windows Phone, obviously, I've used iOS, but I've never used BlackBerry as my personal phone, so I decided to switch and see what it's like, see if BlackBerry can still stand up to the competition, or if, like everyone says, BlackBerry is done, they don't have a chance at coming back. I've always said, if you guys watch PhoneDoc Live, the show on Ustream, our Ustream channel every Friday at 5 p.m. Eastern Time, I've talked about RIM before, and I've said that there's no reason why BlackBerry has to be done, why RIM, can't come back from these mistakes that they've made. I've always felt like BlackBerry definitely has a place in the market. They've always made strong products. Maybe they've struggled recently, but I've always felt like RIM could definitely come back and needed to come back because it's a sector that needs to be taken care of in terms of business and enterprise users, people, or just maybe not even that, but people who just don't want an Android or an iPhone, an Android phone or an iPhone. So here's what I use my phone for the most, the kind of user I am, because I think that has a lot of bearing on a challenge like this of switching to BlackBerry because it is so different from Android and iOS, the two most popular operating systems on the market. So I use my phone for email, messaging, Twitter, some web browsing. I listen to Slacker radio, checking the news, reading news, and things like that. I don't really do a lot of gaming on my phone. I have an Android tablet, and I think it's just better for that. I think gaming on a 4-inch display is just so wrong on so many levels. So I don't really do a lot of gaming. I don't watch a lot of videos. While I do listen to music, multimedia and apps, things like that, it's just not really that important to me in a smartphone. Obviously, I use apps, but multimedia is not really what I use my phone for the most. It's really, email, messaging, Twitter, and web browsing. So if you think about it, I'm really the perfect candidate for switching to a BlackBerry because those things that I listed is really what BlackBerry does best. Okay, so let's get started with the challenge. This is day one. I actually got the phone over the weekend, so this isn't really like beginning of day one, it's more like end of day one. But I got the phone, I set it up, set up my email, set up Twitter, kind of customized it a little bit, changed some settings, basically just got to know it, kind of mess around with it. And so far, I like it. I haven't noticed anything completely negative. It is very different from Android and Windows Phone, the two operating systems that I've used most recently for my personal phone, but it's not necessarily bad. I haven't noticed anything that has to be done a certain way that just doesn't make sense or it doesn't work. It's just very different from what I'm used to. There's a certain way that I do things on an Android phone, there's a certain way that I do things with a Windows Phone device, and so now I have to figure out, okay, how do I do this with a BlackBerry, or how do I have to make this work on a BlackBerry? And it's just very different, and that's just going to take time for me to get used to. It's not necessarily a bad thing, like I said, but it is just going to take time for me to get used to that. So those are basically my first impressions of BlackBerry, and also just a quick introduction to the challenge itself. So far it's different, but nothing really negative, but like I said, I haven't used it for that long, but I'll keep you guys updated. I'll have probably a video up maybe once a week and tell you guys how my experience is going, and then at the end of the 30 days we'll see, could I switch to BlackBerry permanently and use it forever as my personal device, or does RIM just need to make some drastic changes? We'll find out in about a month. Keep it on PhoneDoc because you can also keep updated with Aaron's 30-day challenge. He's switching to the Galaxy Note. But that's pretty much it for me. I'll see you guys in the next update. I'm Sydney from PhoneDog.com. I'll see you guys later. Bye.